man. You're awesome.
All right. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Man, I can't complain, man. Apologize for the weirdness, man. But we're glad we got hooked up.
That's okay. That's okay.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Look, I want to welcome you to an episode of Xtra Innings. Man, we're super excited to have you on. You know, my man Shannon told me a whole lot about you, man. So I'm super excited, you know what I mean, for this interview.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach, I know our relationship goes way back to the Middle Georgia years, and looking at a little bit of your history. 17 years in the business, and I've been very blessed to be a friend of yours and having a great relationship with you and the players that you've recruited in my program and went on and played for you, and everybody that has played for you, that played for me, has really talked highly of you. And really, I want to appreciate your friendship, number one, and I want to appreciate you doing this for us today. And we're going to talk a little bit of baseball and University of Alabama and a little bit of history, if you don't mind.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, I heard.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Most. Oh, thank you. So, Coach, man, you went to Middle Georgia, right? Yeah.
I sure did.
Man. I played football at Middle Georgia. I did, man. I was there from 96 to 98. Man, I don't know if you remember Coach Rowland. I don't know if you remember Coach Rowland. Was he there? Your year you was there? Coach Rowland? Dennis Rowland.
I was there from my first year at Middle Georgia was 99, I think, maybe, okay. 98, 99.
Yeah.
My years are getting confused because I played there and coached there as well.
Right.
But I think I just missed you, but I do remember Coach Rowland. I do.
Yeah, man. So I saw that, man. I'm like, okay, Middle Georgia, baby. MGC. Perfect, man. Perfect.
Well, just want to talk to you.
I'm a warrior by heart, and it's never left me.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to talk a little bit about, your career and the stepping stones you've taken over the years, because I don't know of anybody that has put their time in and really worked their way to a position that you're in now, and no more deservingly than you. Starting out in Middle Georgia and Cochran, we used to go up there, and it seemed like it was 2,000 degrees running camps and things like that together, and having the Ryan Aldridges and Barrett Brownings and all those guys, Adam Davises that played for you, that played for us, and want you to talk a little bit about your career, if you don't mind, and kind of the steps you've taken, because we do have guys in our program that want to be where you are one day as a coach. And if you don't mind, talking about that a little bit, I sure would appreciate it.
Is there any chance you can repeat that? You guys froze on me just a tad.
I said, over all the years that you've done this, we have guys in our program that, know they're not going to be, professional players, but want to coach one day. And you started off in a junior college, and now you're in the SEC as a co-head coach. And, I want to talk about your journey to get where you are today, because we have guys in our program that want to get where you are. And want you to talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. When I left Middle Georgia as a player and went to the University of New Orleans. And just like anybody else outside of my father, I was highly impacted by coaches in my life. And one of them happened to be Craig Young, who I played for at Middle Georgia, who gave me the opportunity to not only play for him, but come back as a coach. And Shannon, you knew me back then, and it was the greatest thing that could ever happen. And I know so much has changed with our game and our, just the process, whether it be recruiting or even getting into this business. But to me, it's always been about people. All I ever wanted to do was be the hitting coach that I personally had in my career, or be the assistant coach, or be able to help a program achieve and win a championship. Very fortunate. I know we all got ties back to Middle Georgia, like we said. So my journey was very unique. I'm the first Zulli to ever get a college degree. And I think that's really important to talk about because I have some very successful, family members. But the fact that I'm the only one, the first one to get a degree, but yet I take a coaching job, which paid me $1,500 a year as an assistant coach was crazy to anybody that knew me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Where did we lose each other? I know you guys were frozen. I just didn't.
Started talking about all the big money you made in Middle Georgia, that 15.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Well,
15
and I mean this because like you talk about young men wanting to get into coaching. I really believe there's a period of time when you're done as a player. It's like, what in the world am I supposed to do with my life? We all go through it. I think as athletes, it's even harder. And we all go through it at different levels. Currently, my wife, was an All-American at the University of Georgia, softball player, better player than I ever dreamed of being. Well, guys, she was just like us. All she did was practice and play and chase. And next thing you know, it's like all of a sudden it's all over. And it's like, what do I do with my time? What other passions do I have? And so what I kind of turned my goals into was just impacting people and getting a chance to impact people as if they just like no different than the people that have impacted my life. And I had no idea about coaching, except my personal experiences of what happened, to me. And I think that's kind of how you start before you develop your own ideas. And I think that's why Middle Georgia was such a special place for me.
Right.
Because when I first got there, I mean, guys, think about it. I mean, it's the top junior college in the country.
Yes.
I mean, you talking about football, baseball, it didn't matter. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. And you got to remember, I'm originally from New Orleans. What's that?
Hardee's had their Hardee's.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Yeah, no question. Hardee's was when your financial aid check came in, you got to go to Hardee's.
Right.
But I mean, think about it, guys. I mean, so it was such a huge impact on me because here I am, a boy from New Orleans, Louisiana, gets put in the middle of South Georgia, and I'm around nothing but winners.
Right.
I'm like, I mean, some of the best players that you possibly can have, and not only people, but at the same time, Craig Young was phenomenal, man, because as a young coach, he never told me how to do anything, and he allowed me to make so many mistakes. He was like, hey, you're in charge of recruiting. Okay. He didn't tell me how to talk to a kid or what to say on the phone or how to deal with a young Shannon Snyder. Like he gave me no advice. He's like, you're our hitting coach. You're going to work with outfielders, which was the best thing in the world because he allowed me to make a ton of mistakes at a young age. And it also taught me a lot about the coaching profession because, coaching, we all do this in whatever career path we decide to choose. But, 90% of what we do isn't necessarily what we enjoy doing.
Right. Sure.
No different than me. I mean, if you ask Jerry Zulli what he really enjoys, I love being on the field. Right. I love trying to help and work with players. That's 10% of what I do.
Right.
Now, I don't disregard the other 90% because it's a huge part of building programs and teams and things of that nature. But like I said, to answer your question, I really fell in love with people. And I was very fortunate because I think I became a young coach at the right time.
Yeah.
Kane, I had no idea, man. I had no idea what to look for in a pitcher. I just tried to sign one I didn't want to face. I knew I knew, the hitters and the shortstop. But honestly, I knew the mentality that it took to make it at Middle Georgia.
Yeah. It's different, man.
It's different because like I said, I mean, there ain't nothing to do. You work, you go to school, guess what? You go back to work. You go back and play.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky enough to live in East Lake Dorm, to run East Lake Dorm.
East Lake.
Yeah, I mean, I tell everybody all the time, man, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. But the craziest place I've ever been in my life was East Lake Hall.
I love East Lake. Yes.
So my advice to young people, it would be to allow whatever passion, don't expect to have it all figured out. I had nothing figured out. Don't, I remember Shannon walking up to me going, at a very young age going, hey man, there's this young pitcher here. And, he just started matching personalities with personalities. And then that taught me huge. I mean, golly, man, you could go through all of them. Jim Beimel, Ryan Alder. I could go through the names of the type of players, but they all had one thing in common. They all had the right mentality.
We had tough players,
Tough, man. Tough, hard nose.
We might not have
Adam Davis. Oh my God. Remember Adam Davis?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, better and better, and goes to Boston Red Sox out of high school and, just was a dog, every day came to work, those type players we had that, went to Middle Georgia and you guys went to, college, junior college World Series 2 times, and, made my job really easy. But, yeah, all those guys right there were not only good players, they come to work every day, and that's one thing that we're missing today in today's game. And we've talked about it before on, where we've seen each other in Jupiter or Fort Myers or whatever, and one thing that we try to instill in our players in my program is we might have the most talent, but we're going to be the toughest kids that we give to you. We want to make sure that you don't call me in December, somebody's transferring because they're not tough enough or mentally ready to play. And, Kane wants to talk a little bit too about the weight room and getting involved with that, how much more physical you have to be from the JUCO level to the Division I level.
Yeah, most definitely, Coach, man. Because I train a lot of, baseball players here at my facility. And, man, talk to us about the preparation as a college athlete as far as the weight room.
I think it's such a huge component here at the University of Alabama. We're so fortunate to have the resources that we have. But I also think it's a philosophy. Coach Brad Bohannon, we designate more time for the weight room than we actually do the field at times. We feel like Brett Price, who's our strength and conditioning coach, who's probably one of the best on the planet. And here's why. Let's be quite honest. The SEC, the Southeastern Conference, and especially the SEC West, it's the toughest in amateur baseball.
Sure.
Okay. And people, I really think before you can be mentally tough enough, you better be physically tough enough.
Yeah, right. Most definitely.
Right.
And me and you both know when you're physically tough enough to handle the 56 game schedule, not including the postseason and the traveling and the things of that nature, then it allows you to become mentally tough enough because you have the confidence that you can hand it. But this has become a power game and a power league. Right. For instance, I mean, you throw hard, you hit the ball far, you hit the ball consistent. You know what I mean? You're able to make plays that most that can't make. And so that all comes with the physicality. Our guys train all year round. And, it is. And everybody, what's unique here is that every one of them have their own, designed program. We don't do, one cookie cutter, one fits all type deal. Coach Price is tremendous. I mean, they do a full body analysis on them, Kane, and basically find every deficiency they have as an athlete. And they attack every deficiency and build them back up. And I know one thing that to me gets tied into the weight room that doesn't get talked enough about is nutrition.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure, you know what I mean? I'm sure you talk about that on a daily basis, Kane. Like, I truly believe you can't outwork your diet. And I'm not talking about, and I know I'm not talking about the diet maybe I need to be on, but I'm talking about the right calories and understanding and educating and teaching the right way to go about this. Yes, and I think the earlier a student athlete can grasp that concept, I just think it's becomes part of their DNA and becomes another process, in their life.
Right. Well, I want to ask you a little bit too, because you've been in several different places and you've gotten all this knowledge. And that's one thing I wish I'd have had an opportunity to do as a coach. And that's why I when I'm around guys like yourself, I try to listen, to what you specialize in, which is hitting, and when you talk hitting, if you ever notice when you're around me, I kind of keep my mouth shut and listen to what you have to say. And want to talk to you a little bit too about, after being around all these different head coaches and places that you've been, what's one thing that's very consistent that makes a program special? You know, what does those guys do that you've learned over the years that one day you'll be a head coach in the SEC or ACC that you want to put into your program? What do you think one thing is real special that you've learned?
And this is going to be a really simple, generic answer, but I think it's true. It's the truest thing I could possibly say. Every head coach that I've been fortunate enough to work for, makeup was a big deal. They recruit makeup. Recruiting was a big deal. Getting the right student athletes and getting the right fit. Because we all talk about putting young men in position to be successful, but if you don't recruit the right young man, he has no chance to be successful in no matter what place or program I've been in.
Correct.
You know, so the makeup part of it has been huge. And I'm not talking about what mom or, your wife may wear. I'm talking about that's the part of my job that I find most intriguing is I can't cut you open, but yet I better figure out what makes you tick.
Right.
What kind of motor you have.
In the recruiting part, you got to kind of understand where the guy is too. If he's a Southern guy, that's a real South Georgia, Alabama kid for us, and a school from up north comes in recruiting that guy. I got to kind of look and say, hey, you're not going to survive in New York. You're not going to survive in the Midwest on the West Coast. We need to put you in a situation where you're going to thrive and you're going to be able, to communicate with the average Joe in the neighborhood. And that goes a long way, because once you get, as you get homesick,
Yeah.
And like you said, you got to be able to find out what's going to make that guy tick, get him motivated to come to work every day. And sometimes when when people come to me and ask for advice, we got to put those guys in a situation to where, academically, athletically, and just personalities have got to be very important, and you've always done a really good job with that, with the guys we've had from South Georgia. I think to be a good recruiter, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be able to speak and wear many different hats. And you've always done a really good job of that, making my players feel comfortable. And I will appreciate that always.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I really do. But it's so funny because I'm from South Louisiana, and God, you would have never believed I've never been hunting a day in my life until I got to South Georgia. But it's so much like South Georgia because, once again, I was telling you about we're dealing with people. We're dealing with people, instead of crabbing and shrimping and things of that nature. I never threw watermelons until I've been to Cordele.
Right.
Like, it was crazy. The hardest work I've ever done in my life. So that, and once again, I think what happens in recruiting is you have young men that start in families that start, they start getting fixated with the place and not necessarily the people. Because, young, and I learn that more and more now, the higher level that you go to. A lot, and let's be frank, a lot of people dream of going to the University of Alabama more so than the places that I've been in the past.
Right.
Okay. So we'll have some young men that will decide to come here based on the place, which is a great option. It's an unbelievable academic institution. Most people don't know that. The average ACT score is a 30. It's a tremendous, baseball and athletics program. It's a really unique environment where everybody's pulling for one. When they say roll tide, like, they mean it.
Right.
And it's a family, and it's a really special place that I can't sell hard enough. But it may not be the right fit for everybody.
Right.
You may need to go to a smaller school where you could be successful. And no different than when I was at the University of Memphis. It got a bad stigma of being kind of what you would think of the, in inner city. Well,
Right.
I would recruit guys that were excited about that.
Right. Yeah,
that wanted to have some culture and be around, and there's things to do outside of baseball and things of that nature. No different than when you're in Middle Georgia. You can't recruit guys that want to have a nightlife.
Right. Because you won't get it in Cochran, baby.
No. So those are the things that I think that you once again, but it's about understanding and learning people
Right.
and truly listening and things of that nature and trying to find the right fit. I mean, we all want really good players,
Definitely.
but we all want to make sure we're around, great people. And I know that's a, coaching kind of cliche to say, but it's the truth, man.
It's the truth.
If you
Yeah.
lose with the right people, you sleep good knowing that you got a chance to win tomorrow.
Right.
If you lose with the wrong people, you don't sleep well at night.
I learned the term not too long ago. If you lose a game, at least feel good with the people you lose with, and no one wants to lose, but you much rather do that than go home and go, man, I just really, we have that regret because we didn't have those players selling out and coaching staff that sells out. And with your passion and things like that, I know Alabama recruiting you guys have already done, going to ease your way. I won't say ease your way. It might skyrocket your way up the SEC pretty quickly. And want to, talk a little bit about the 2021 season coming up, what you see and, what's your goals, obviously. And want you to talk about that a little bit, if you would, about the season coming up and, wishing you guys good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, before I talk about the 21 season, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about 2020 really quick. I know this is crazy and challenging times. I'm still gut wrenching about it, man. We were 16-1 with 70% of our roster was as freshmen.
Right.
Okay, and we were on the verge of. And I feel like we had a chance to be the story of college baseball, and I don't mind saying that publicly. I love the makeup and what we had going on as our team. Now we are returning a lot of those pieces in 2021. It's crazy because, you look at our roster right now and we have 35 young men and 21 freshmen on our team.
Wow.
Now they're not 21 true freshmen. Half of that is, COVID freshmen, but yet none of them have experienced an SEC, season yet. That 30, game gauntlet, as I would like to say it is. But very, very talented group, group. And we had a very productive fall and was able to, with all the restrictions with COVID and able to get a lot of really good work in. This is the most amount of arm talent we've had since we've been here. We've got a young man that's a freshman on our team named Connor Prelip. That's from Wisconsin. He's got a chance to be a first rounder. I mean, he's a really special player that if you get a chance to watch, it's special. It's just one of those lifetime guys that you have a chance to have in your program. But I'm excited about a lot of them. We're very athletic and versatile offensively, and this is the most amount of depth we've had on our pitching staff. We just lack the experience, and we need to play. So that's the part that's really encouraging, exciting, because I feel like we're on an upward trend in our program, unlike most places. I think we've done it at a very fast rate, and I'm really excited about where we are. And I know, like I said, and not to bring up COVID and all that stuff, but I just think I deal with it every day with recruiting and the dead periods. And Shen, I can only imagine how many players in your program or Kane, guys that you work with that are just freaking out about what's going to happen.
There's a lot of panic. A lot of panic. That's the only word I can describe is panic. And we're going to have the JUCOs should be real thankful for COVID because they're going to load up pretty quick. Especially here in the state of Georgia and in Alabama, because a lot of these guys that I feel like would be a D1 guy or mid-major guy, we're going to have to send them, to some JUCOs, some D2s, and which nothing wrong with that. I learned a long time ago, doesn't matter in baseball where you start off, where you end up. And not like football and basketball. A lot of the schools take a lot of pride in the JUCO guys. And as you know, being in your position, having a JUCO guy, number one, shows that they can do what they need to do in the classroom. And if they put numbers up, they can play at that level and advance their career. So I'm a fan of junior college, number one, and obviously helping those guys get their degree in a smaller classroom. But yeah, the COVID has put a lot of panic in my line of work.
Oh man, both. Coach, you there?
Took a nap.
Go.
Hey, you there?
Hey, Coach.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I apologize for that.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Had a little delay. But
No,
anyway,
no.
But what's your goals, and what are you looking at those young guys producing in 2021?
I heard goals, man. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
yeah,
I couldn't,
you're right.
I couldn't hear you.
I just say what are the goals for you guys with all those young players in 2021 going forward?
I think our goals is to get this program back into the postseason. I think that's a huge goal in achieving a championship. I think we've been able to increase the talent level here within our program, and I think this is a very special place. It should be, have a chance to be in the postseason, and I feel, confident that we have the right personnel to be able to do that.
Right. Well, I know the coaches are ready.
Right, definitely. Coach, quick question.
Yeah, we're excited, man. We're excited.
Yeah, most definitely. So, I'm gonna go back to recruiting real quick, okay? Man, from
Okay.
my perspective, you know what I'm saying, athletes who trying to come your way. Okay, I just want a little more clarity. What are you guys looking for in terms of an athlete as far as character, all that type of good stuff?
When the best judge of character is what you do in the classroom,
Okay.
in my opinion, from what we get a chance to see. Now, that does not mean that you have to be a 4.0 student and have make a score 36 on the ACT. That's not what that means. What it means is you're not an underachiever.
Mm-hmm.
That means if I get a chance to talk to your guidance counselor and you're a 3.0 student, but yet you do all the extra credit work, you never miss a class, you're first in your class, like that's the guy that I want.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want the guy with the high ACT score with the low GPA that's basically going to pick and choose when he wants to show up.
There you go.
That's a great, indicator of how, read into your character. The second one, I know this sounds crazy. I pay a lot of attention of how that young man talks to his mom or dad or his siblings. I really do, man. I feel like if you ever were to disrespect your mother or your father in front of me, that's a huge blemish on your character.
Yeah,
no matter even if you're paid. And listen, and I understand moms can be embarrassing. Dads can say embarrassing things to you, but that's a great sign of character of how you respect your parents, because obviously all of our parents have done so much for us.
Right.
And those are just tells of what you could see. And I think last and most, and what I get a chance to see a lot is how you fail on the field.
Right.
Think about it, guys. When I go watch a kid play, I'm going to see him fail more than I ever will see him succeed.
Right.
And so how he handles that failure, and I don't expect him to be perfect and bottle it all up and show no emotion. This is amateur sports, man. It's okay to fist bump and high five and show that. But I really think, how you handle failure. Are you a palms up guy? Is the first thing to go up. I mean, is are you that guy? Or are you a guy that, head down, you lose all confidence? Those are all indicators, and that's how I would break down character. I love athletes. Kane, I won't lie. I love athletes, man. Everywhere I've ever been, I love athletic guys that are versatile, that can do a lot of different things. And I think that's what keeps you in the game and keeps you successful, especially most people don't think this, but even if you're on the mound, you should be able to be athletic.
Right.
So
please say that again, Coach. Say that again.
So I really think athleticism plays a huge role in all of that. So when you're out there looking, those are just small indicators.
Right.
You talking about even if you're on the mound as a pitcher, you're still an athlete?
Yeah, I love that.
Because I love seeing, and because most at certain levels, I mean, most of your best shortstops are also pitchers.
Okay.
And they're also, and they also hit. And I think people forget in the state of Georgia the story of Charlie Blackmon.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we see what he's done with the Rockies, but nobody forgets that he was an unbelievable pitcher at Young Harris Junior College.
Sure.
Or in the state of Georgia. I was about to say it, Shannon. You remember him?
Hey,
Holy
I remember
smokes.
him watching Young Harris, and you guys tore it up down there in Cochran. And
unbelievable. I mean, Kane, this guy was 94, 95 from the left side before that was ever happening. And so to think that he would have had such an unbelievable big league career as a hitter, you would have never been able to predict that back then because of how good he was on the mound. And so those are all indicators, of being able to do that because, and also when you start talking about mentality, I'm okay. I love the multi-sport guy.
Right. Okay.
I think it's okay. I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, we're not old, but we're not young anymore either.
Right.
We were CrossFitting before CrossFitting was what it was.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we were playing football when it was football season, basketball when it was basketball season. I mean,
yes.
and so I think it's okay to be able to do some of those things. And I think, now I know it's getting more specific and people are having to make decisions at a much younger age and things of that nature. But, I also do believe if you want to play college baseball, and I know Shannon kind of alluded to this earlier, but if you want to play college baseball, there's somewhere for you to play. I don't care about your talent level. If you have a passion to play collegiate baseball, there's a level for you to play at, and I think I feel so bad right now for the challenges that young people have now with social media and things of that nature. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of positives with social media. Like guys, when we played, we were never able to put videos of ourselves.
Oh, right.
Or we were writing handwritten notes to coaches and mailing it, putting a stamp on it. And now they can just, basically tweet at you or, shoot you a post through Instagram or something. And I think there's a lot.
I'll just call you, and I'm glad you picked the phone up.
No doubt. And I'm that way. I get in trouble all the time. They're like, Z, why don't you just send a text, instead of calling us? And I do like the personal interaction, but also, I tell people this all the time. I mean, especially in the Southeastern Conference, I mean, you do something special, man, you're going to get 5,000 followers that day.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. But guess what? You do something bad, you're going to get 5,000 people telling you how bad it was too.
Right. The same thing. Yeah, most definitely.
Exactly.
So we didn't have to deal with that kind of pressure that these young people have to deal with on a daily basis. And guys, and we know this, the information that is being thrown at these guys at such a young age. I mean, from the weight room to the, all the way through the, through hitting or pitching or whatever. I mean, they're having to decipher what's right or wrong. And,
right.
I think it's really important today as a coach to be able to do that for guys.
Exactly. Well, in closing, I just want to, thank you for your time. And, our relationship, like I said, I'm very blessed and thankful that we've been friends for almost 20 years. And it's funny how baseball brings people together and keeps the baseball people tight. And I'm very fortunate, to have guys like you in my corner. So when I do pick the phone up and I have a dude, I can call you and say, hey, I got a guy. And you go, within the next hour, you call it, no matter if he's 14 or 16 or 18 or whatever the case may be, or a guy coming out of JUCO that's really, stepped his game up a little bit and interested in playing at the next level. And we've talked about that over the years. And there again, I'll just never forget the days we had in Cochran when baseball was a lot more pure. you know, for both of us. And I was telling our age a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a game, and we all love it. And you know, again, roll tide, and
Yes, sir.
everything.
Yeah, Coach. Again, man, I really enjoyed this today. And again, it's always nice to meet another MGC, you know what I'm saying, fellow guy, man. So I enjoyed it, Coach. I enjoyed it.
You know, I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, if there's anything I could ever do, not just here at the University of Alabama, but anything that I could ever do to help in any way, you guys know that I'm there to do it, man. And I hope you guys have an awesome holiday. You know, get a chance to spend some downtime with your families, and shoot, like always, man, roll tide.
Yes, sir.
Roll Tide, baby.
All right.
Thank you, baby.
All right, Coach.